Mad Max Fury Road, 2015 film directed by George Miller, starring Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, and Nicholas Hoult. It's the fourth movie in the Mad Max series or franchise, although you most certainly do not have to see the other ones to fully enjoy Fury Road. And that's mainly because each tells a new self-contained story, and apart from the first one, Max is never even the actual protagonist or the central character of those films. He is the one constant, and the way those movies work is that he is this mysterious wanderer traveling the post-apocalyptic wastelands, entering someone else's story for a bit and then leaving forever after impacting it through his actions. It's almost like the movies are folk tales about this mythical figure that helps people out. And it's not different here, as the main character is actually Imperator Furiosa, played by Theron. She is one of the lieutenants of Immortan Joe, a tyrannical warlord controlling one of the human communities thanks to his access to fresh water. At the beginning of the film, he sends Furiosa out to trade water for fuel at another outpost. She leaves the road though, and instead begins her escape to the legendary Greenlands. And as it turns out, she's together with Joe's prized wives that she smuggled out in the truck. Immortan Joe, together with his people, begins to chase Furiosa, and that's basically the gist of the film. Now, the first thing you have to realize is how little time the movie wastes to give us those explanations. Most of the things I said you actually learn later on or have to piece together from what you see on the screen. Nobody tells you stuff. Because the film is not concerned with the story all that much. What it's really interested in is the action. And boy, oh boy, does it deliver on that front. It starts pumping out on all cylinders from minute one, and just full-blown loud rush of action. And then it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it never really slows down except for a few short moments to take a breath, and then it roars forward once again. It is one of the most incredible action movies ever made, I think, thanks to that shift in balance. Normally you have much less action and much more exposition and dialogue, so it's more balanced, right? But Fury Road doesn't give a shit, it just takes you for a ride. And the reason it works is because it's so damn entertaining. The bulk of the film consists of a car chase around the desert, which sounds boring as fuck, but it actually isn't. Part of that is the extreme tempo, and part the fact that the majority of what we see on the screen actually happened. The filmmakers didn't resort to CGI in every single sequence. They built the actual cars, they created the costumes, they did the stunts. And it's incredible how much better that looks in comparison to shit like Transformers or Fast and Furious. It feels real, tangible, because the objects do exist. They have weight. It's also not just dumb fun. As I said, the story you pretty much have to piece together by yourself, because it's told in a visual way instead of with words, for the most part. Miller respects the audience to get a hang on things and doesn't over-explain what's going on. And the story, while simple, is engaging, and it takes place in a world that is just full of life. All the time we can see and feel that the plot is not the most important thing in the world of the film. It's just one of the stories taking place in it. We get glimpses and mentions of so much other stuff that exists there. Then there's the characters. Each of the main ones, Furiosa, Max, and Nox, is fleshed out and interesting and has a sort of journey that they complete over the course of the film. Especially Furiosa, who's really reminiscent of Sarah Connor from Judgment Day, in terms of how badass, but also how real at the same time she manages to be. But the most important part of Fury Road is the way it looks and sounds, because those aspects are just breathtaking. It's a movie that deserves being seen on the largest screen possible, with clear image and loud sound system. I would say that those technical aspects really elevate it from a regular action film to a masterpiece. And fun little fact, there is actually a version of the film in existence called Black and Chrome, which is black and white. And you may think to yourself that getting rid of color in such a vibrantly looking film is a stupid idea. But because of the way contrasts play out, it actually makes sense and manages to look incredible all the same. That version makes the characters and cars look more pronounced, more sharp. So you do get something in return. Which one is better, the color or the black and white? I'd still say color, but it's very close. And in either case, Mad Max Fury Road is without a shred of doubt one of the best action movies of all time. Everything it sets out to do, it does. Every tool it uses brilliantly, and it's extremely efficient with those tools too. Just brilliant stuff overall.